How much is my Lego collection actually worth? Now, I've been asked this question before, and my answer's always been 16 to 17,000 for quite a few years. But it wasn't until, hey, how much Lego do you have? Like, cost? Yeah, I don't know, like 17,000? You definitely have more than that, like at least 20,000. Really? So that got me thinking. Just for fun, I asked you guys for your predictions.
Give me a prediction of how much my Lego collection costs. Oh, easily like over 25,000 at least.
And we'll see how close you actually got. And now it's time to find the truth. When I say Lego collection, I mean every single thing Lego. All this is going to take 3 stages, and many sub-stages within those 3 stages. Stage 1, we start with Lego sets. This includes every set I have on display, any set that is still under construction, any set that is still sealed, the stack of sealed promotional sets, and this box of cheap polybags. The first step is to identify the set. Then find the set on Bricklink, use both the resale value of used sets in the last 6 months and context to provide a realistic resale price, even use Brick Economy to use as a second source, then record it. So I opened a Google Sheet, first column being the set ID, second column the set name, and finally the third column for the best approximation of the used resale price in Canadian dollars. So let's begin. This was way harder than expected. You see, you have sets like this, you see it and can identify it, but what in the world is this set supposed to be called? So that's when I made friends with Google Lens. $355, $480, $620, $760, $790, $2. After 167 minutes and 131 Lego sets, I have reached a number, the total for Stage 1, $18,536 in used resale value, but we are not done. Stage 2, minifigures. Minifigures outside of sets include figures from polybags, figures from sets I don't own, and the bulk CMFs, plus all the duplicate CMFs. Again, we follow the same steps to achieve the most realistic resale price. So we begin again. Very quickly, I realized a problem. I already know the name of many of my sets, but who knows the name of minifigures? Like, what is this guy's official name? But we persevere. Finally, I'm done. 195 minifigures, 129 minutes of identifying minifigures later, the total for Stage 2, $2,119. Finally, we are done. Pieces! Now this is the fun part. We got assorted pieces by color, pieces assorted by size, a shoebox of maybe 10 quality pieces, incomplete sets, mocks, and a big bin of Lego Friends remnants. How do we go about doing this? Well, I sure as hell ain't counting all those pieces one by one. So let's start with the Lego Friends. I looked in the big bin and identified all the remains of sets. Found them on Bricklink, not to find the price, but to find the piece count. I assume these sets are actually mostly complete, so I added the piece count and rounded down to 3,500 pieces. Then I moved on to my 2 mocks. Now I know the exact piece count for those, so I just recorded that at 3,433 pieces. Then the incomplete sets. I already know the piece count of the sets, and I estimate that they are roughly 80% complete, which gave me a total of 892 pieces. Then we get to the spare pieces. Imagining I were to dump all the pieces on a table, what would I compare it to? And I feel like I can compare it to a decent 4,000 piece set, but I'll round down again and say 3,750 pieces, giving us a total of 11,575 pieces. Now, how much is that worth? The average price per piece is 10 to 14 cents American, which is 14 to 19 cents Canadian, but I felt generous and just used 10 cents Canadian. Multiplying the 11,575 pieces by 10 cents left me with $1,157.5, which didn't feel right. Since buying pieces in bulk is usually cheaper, I generously rounded down to a solid 850 Canadian dollars. You've waited this long to know the answer to how much does my Lego collection really cost. 131 sets with an average of $141 per set, 195 minifigures with a crazy average of $11 per minifigure, thanks to the Shadow ARF Trooper, and roughly 11,575 pieces, making the total 21,505 Canadian dollars, which is the equivalent of 47.8 PS5s or 1/22nd of the price of an Audi R8 LMS GT3 2019. Now going back to the predictions, the person with the closest guess is Vafoon.
25,000 at least.
If you made it this far, clearly you could tolerate me. So if you want to tolerate me more, you could subscribe. Hopefully, I catch y'all later.